G'day mates, what is going on? Today we're going to be talking about the mentality that will screw you over. And you know, I use those words strongly because I know that this is something that a lot of you are dealing with right now in your life and your business. And I wanted to shed some light on it to really give you some help and advice and share some personal experience to help you work through the kind of mentality that will set you up to fail. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into this. So I wanted to talk about this because this is actually something that's been occurring in my life recently. And I wanted to obviously always open and honest with you guys as, you know, we share and we talk together. And one of those things is this mentality will inevitably set you up to fail. And this is what a lot of people who are currently living life have, that ultimately, you know, they end up living an average life. And I think oftentimes entrepreneurs and people who are trying to do something bigger like you go through, and it's okay to go through this. And the mentality that I'm talking about is the mentality of being a negative person. Now, I know inherently people aren't necessarily always negative, but I want to stress the importance of this. And before you click away, please hear me out here, because this is something really, really important for your success, and that's why I'm sharing it. Ultimately, when it comes down to success, mindset is a huge, huge portion of what you're able to do with your life and your entrepreneurial efforts and journey. And a large portion of that is, you know, coming down to whether you think negatively or positively, whether you think good things or you struggle, you know, think a lot of bad things, whether it's about yourself, whether it's about other people, whether you inherently go out and try and put people down, whether you try and go out and say negative things just because you want to, or it makes you feel better about yourself. Those kinds of things will always come back to bite you, because when it comes to doing such a thing as being an entrepreneur, I think that word is used way too much and way too loosely. I think that ultimately, to me, entrepreneurship is all about using your creative mind to basically create something new, to create something that's going to solve someone's problem and provide someone with value. And that's not an easy task. It's not easy, but it's for those like yourself watching this video, the very select few who are destined to make their own dreams come true, but then in turn help make other people's dreams come true. And that's where our fulfillment comes from, is when we're able to do that. So for you out there who may, you know, whether you're reflecting right now and you're thinking about kind of the attitude that you have towards other people, towards yourself, which is very important, and just the world in general. If you're constantly talking about problems, you're constantly complaining, you're constantly, worrying or stressing, or, you know, being afraid of things, that is the exact mindset that will lead you to every single one of those things. So the biggest thing here is that you get what you think. So if you're thinking negatively and you have this mentality that, you know, there are bad people in the world, that, you know, you're complaining about this, you're complaining about that, you're worrying about this, you know, when you have that kind of mindset on a daily basis, it really takes a huge toll. And you may not notice it, but over time, it will literally hinder you from being able to hit your goals. Being able to hit, whether it's, you know, your life goals, places that you want to travel to, people that you want to help, that just the type of character and person that you are. And that has been something that has heavily affected me recently, because I've just felt very discouraged about, you know, some of the things that I haven't been able to accomplish. And it's so interesting how easy it is for those things to get away from us. It's so easy to, you know, get discouraged or think, you know, negatively of ourselves and of other people. And if you're one of those people right now, I know how you feel. I've been there multiple times, and I think it's only natural that we do have those moments, but it's how we bounce back and whether we get better or not, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, this whole journey that we're on right now is really one of self-development. If we're not working on improving ourselves, then I'm gonna tell you right now, your bank account is not going to grow. You know, it's just kind of one of those things where if you don't focus on the mindset, the person that you are, and your ability to help, serve, and be kind to others, there's just no possible way that you're going to be able to grow a successful business. There's just no way, because ultimately people drive your business. And if you don't understand people, if you're not there for people, then that is a huge problem. And we're not perfect, we all make mistakes, but if that is something that we intend to do in our business, in our life, then, you know, and constantly improving, then everything's going to be okay. So I hope that I've conveyed a little bit of my point here, but I wanted to get this out because I think that it's kind of like a side part of making money. I think that ultimately when we have negative mindsets, and that can include an array of things, whether it's, you know, thinking negatively about ourselves, that can really destroy us. And that's something that I've really been dealing with a lot lately, and it's taken a real big toll. And, you know, whether it's thinking negatively about people, complaining a lot, you're worrying about things, stressing, you know, things like that can really affect your ability to be successful. And so one of the things that I'm really stressing and really trying to improve in my life right now is just developing and focusing on having a really positive mindset. And that's really important to me, and it's important to you as well, that something that you should be focusing on a daily basis is improving your mindset. Filling your mind with things that you want to become, to achieve, you know, how you want to treat others, and filling your mind with just uplifting positive things, okay? And, you know, it's kind of interesting because there's always something to complain about. There's always something wrong with the world. There's always something going on that we could choose to ultimately think negatively about, or, you know, dwell on, right? So I think that some of the key points of being positive, you know, because, you know, it's not always an easy thing to do. You know, like, it's easy to do on the good days. It's easy to do, you know, think positively when you're having a great day, right? Like, it's easy. You don't have to try. But the days that matter are the days where you don't feel like being positive. All right, they're the days that you're down on yourself. They're the days that you just want to complain because you're just not enjoying the things that are going on in your life at that moment. And when you knowingly make a decision to be positive instead of negative, then that ultimately changes everything. Like, it changes your character, it builds your character, it helps you to become stronger so that you can become a better person the next day. And ultimately, you know, it's so funny how, like, we all desire to, you know, be this amazing person who impacts people, or, you know, whether maybe your goal is to, you know, make a tremendous amount of money, and, you know, maybe your goal is to serve other people in a certain way. The big thing here is that progress comes from consistency, and, you know, that's something that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do something, you know, every single day, right? Now, if we can develop habits and routines, then those things help us to be able to move forward in the direction that we want to, you know, move forward in. So, you know, focusing on the positive things, really trying to develop habits and routines that are ultimately going to help us get a bit better every single day. Those are the kinds of things that we should really be focusing on, and that you should be focusing on to help you live a better life and ultimately have more success in your endeavors right now. So I just wanted to share my 2 cents on this, because I think it's like just a really important part, and I've been thinking a lot about it recently, and I've been noticing, you know, myself just thinking negatively at times. And I think that ultimately, you know, no one's perfect, obviously, but at the end of the day, if you're not aware of what's going on, then it can go downhill really quickly. And so that's just something that I wanted to share with you. I hope that, you know, it's been helpful for you. The biggest takeaway that I want you guys to take from this is just make sure you reevaluate and see kind of where you're at with your mindset, whether, you know, there's certain things that you think negatively, and they can be about yourself, and whether, you know, there's things that you think positively, and really try to think positively as much as you possibly can every day, because that is what's going to allow you to have the mentality that you need to succeed and not fail. You know, because, I mean, I remember when I used to work a 9-to-5 job, I probably did complain a little bit about it. Wasn't fun, I hated it. But even just the people around me who were committed to accepting that that was their life, they would, you know, always talk about like, oh, I can't wait till I go home, I can't wait till the weekend. And I'm just thinking to myself, why would you settle for that when you can have so much more, you know? Why would that be, you know, the only thing that you look forward to? Like, it's just so sad, because I know every single person has so much more potential. So if you guys, give you a challenge here today, if you guys can make sure to really focus on being aware of your thoughts, and even just improve one little tiny part of your life where you can think positively. Maybe you're like, oh, well, I can't do this, right? Or like, there's no way that I could, you know, make X amount of dollars. There's no way that, you know, I could achieve this goal. Well, I challenge you to think the opposite. When those thoughts come, tell yourself that you can, and just see how you feel. If you can just simply change your thoughts to even, you know, thinking positively, if something negative comes to your mind, whether, you know, you're worrying about like you can't hit a certain goal, or you can't make a certain amount of money, maybe change that thought around and just say, no, I can make X amount of dollars this month, or you know, no, I can achieve this goal that I've always wanted to do, because I have unlimited potential. When you start changing the way you think, and you start thinking differently, then your whole life will transform as well. And that's something that I really believe in, because it's helped me get where I am today. And, you know, just recently I've had a bit of a setback with that, but I've realized it, I've been aware of it, and now I'm gonna learn from it and move forward. And that's the most important thing that you can ever do, is continuing to learn and progress, because that's the whole point of why we're here. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed these insights here. Leave a comment below if, you know, you may be struggling with negative mentality or a positive mentality, and what that thing is that you're really struggling with, because for me, I really struggle with getting discouraged on myself. So leave comments down below, leave a like on this video if you did enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.